Welcome to Remembrance, a virtual and spiritual embodied experience. And today is the eclipse and Scorpio new moon in 2020. So if you're catching this as a replay, know that that is what we're experiencing. And it's an evening. It's an evening for all of us. So, hi. I planned tonight for the eclipse and the new moon, but I didn't desire for it to just be an eclipse and new moon channel. Okay. What we're doing tonight is we're harnessing the energy that is present for us right now, which is Scorpio, and it is also the eclipse. And eclipses are portals. Eclipses are portals for us to remember and activate our karmic gifts through the simplicity of just alignment, right? We actually don't have to do a lot with eclipse energy because it does the work itself. Our only job is to get back into alignment, is to kind of land into ourselves, And then we have Scorpio, which is a new moon. So new moons are all about intentions and new beginnings. And you put these two things together, and you also put Scorpio together, which is a water sign. And tonight I'm going to be doing a completely different spin on what eclipse season is. Because most of the time when people think of eclipse season, they think of it as this crazy portal to go through that's really intense. And because it's paired with a water sign, it inspired me to share with you guys a new way of looking at eclipse season, which is about a month long. There's an eclipse now, and there's going to be another one in about 30 days. I don't know the exact date. If you guys do, please put it in the chat. And because Scorpio is a water sign, what I'd love for you guys to think about is that this eclipse season actually gets to be gentle, right? Because water, just like the ocean, think of the ocean, okay? The ocean can be fierce and wild and powerful. And it can also be steady and calm and smooth. But that doesn't mean that it's not powerful. Like when I go to the ocean and there's days and it's just calm, I'm like, oh, yes. But there's no thought that ever crosses my mind that doesn't have deep reverence for the power and depth of the ocean. And so I invite you to look at this eclipse season starting today. And even if you're catching this on a replay, let's say you want to listen to this replay a month from now, 3 months from now, to help you remember who you are. You can use this analogy whenever. You can harness this idea that life doesn't have to be this wild tornado, hurricane, doomsday experience. It can actually be an experience where you float through the chaos, where you can create calmness in the chaos. And that is what Remembrance is going to be about tonight. Okay. I desire to create remembrance because I know what it's like to forget on the path. I know what it's like to go into a space of complete and utter self-destruction, self-sabotage, life sabotage. I know what it's like to have fear and doubt and anxiety. I know what it's like to forget. I know what it's like to create your own waves. And so tonight, my desire is to calm the storms that are in your life. And if you don't have storms in your life, fucking great. We are going to catapult you forward with inspiration and more presence and more grounding and more of a cracked open heart. So that is my desire for us tonight. So let's go ahead and drop in. We're going to breathe a little bit. Those of you who have joined me before, which I feel like I've got a full house of family here. Oh my gosh, I got Athena, Shantae, Sorella, Corey, Farah, Kylie, both Kylies. Hi, Lainey, Michelle, Sammy, Vila, Whitney, Victoria. Most of you I know. The ones I don't, Diana, hello. Hillary, hello. I think have we met in person at one of the events? Loretta, hello. If I missed anybody, let me know. Adina, hello. Hi. So good to have you guys here. Okay, let's go ahead and drop in. This will be a short drop in to help us clear our day, because we're going to have a full-blown fun experience at the end of this for us to really breathe and get into our bodies. So let's go ahead and close down our eyes. Breathing into this moment. Just dropping into the here and the now. Letting everything that was going on today, this week, fall away. Becoming completely aware of your body, from your toes and ankles and calves and knees, thighs, butt, womb space, belly, low back, ribs, chest, upper back, shoulders, both of your arms, hands, back up to your neck, your face, to your hair, your head, your aura. Deep breath in. Exhale. Some of you may or may not be familiar with one of my favorite types of breathing. It's a fire breath. And a fire breath sounds and feels like a bunny ran its little tail off and stopped and was breathing. We will be breathing through our nose. If this is completely uncomfortable, you're welcome to take it through the mouth. But breathing through your nose actually puts us into a relaxed state. It cues our brain for us to relax. The breath will sound like this. In and out of our nose. Let's go ahead and pick that breath up right now together. This will bring heat into your body. In and out of your nose, rapid breathing, eyes closed, with your attention to your third eye right in between your brows, allowing yourself to feel energy move through your body. If you just ate, you can find a mid-tempo if it's a little uncomfortable, but try to make it a good tempo. Keeping the breath going. You can never hurt yourself breathing. You can only drop more and more into this present moment. Deep breath in, holding at the top. Attention to your third eye. Tongue to the roof of your mouth. Releasing your breath, keeping your eyes closed. Deep breathing. Whenever you breathe like this, it allows you to be in a new body. It allows you to be more here. Go ahead and take your neck down to your chest and start to circle to the right, keeping your eyes closed as you circle your neck to the right, matching movement with breath, being very conscious of your breath as you move. Pausing in the middle, allowing yourself to go the other way. Bringing stillness, coming to center. One more deep breath in. And you can open your eyes. Hi. Welcome. Welcome. Who here? I read all the things that you guys put. Thank you. It seems like we have a bunch of magical people here on a spiritual path of making the world a better place. My question here is, who forgets their path? Who forgets their journey? And who gets caught up in fear and doubt? I wanted to talk about, before we dive into remembering, what I desired to talk about was forgetting. What is forgetting? What is forgetting? I write everything down, so if you guys see me glance, I'm just looking at my notes. I journal and journal and journal before these transmissions. So sometimes I like to see my little moments. How easy is it to forget? How easy is it to get into worry and fear, comparison, panic, anxiety, doubt, negative thoughts, unworthiness, doomsday, fear of judgment, fear of failure? All of this is forgetting. All of this is the opposite of remembering. Right? All of this is separation from source, from spirit, from yourself. And it's really easy to do that in a world where everything is instant, Instagram, insta gratification. Everybody's highlight reels blasted online. It's so easy to forget. It's so easy to get caught up in things that are not truly our truth, right? As I was journaling tonight, one of the things that came through that was so beautiful was, we didn't come here for the 10K months. We didn't come here for the fancy cars. We didn't come here for the home or the Airbnb properties or the investment properties or the degrees. We didn't come here for the clothes or the perfect face or the perfect body. All of those are just bonuses along the journey. And all of those things we can manifest, but none of those things matter when we forget who we are. None of those things matter because we feel empty inside, or we're full of worry, or we're full of fear. We're full of lack of trust, emptiness, self-judgment. What good does any of that do when we're not happy inside, when we're not joyous inside? And so we live in a world that makes us forget why we came here. It gets us so caught up in the rat race. It gets us caught up in comparison and self-loathing in a weird way. I always have to put myself in check when I'm self-obsessing. You know, I'm worrying about myself and what everybody's going to think of me. And am I doing this? And am I doing that? And when we go into a place of self-obsessing, we have forgotten our path. We have forgotten why we're here. Right? Everything external is a bonus. But the reason why we're here is to remember who we are. So what does that mean? What does remembering mean? To me, what's true for me, and I know what's true for many, many people that I work with and create with, is remembering is my connection to source. Remembering is when we are one with trust and play and joy and surrender. And the two biggest indicators of when we are in complete remembrance: gratitude and presence. Gratitude and presence. Everything that you desire, whether it's a successful business, the 7-figure business, the massive impact, the full retreats, the yoga studio, the perfect relationship, whatever it is that you want to manifest in this life, that you feel like that's what I truly desire, it's on the other side of shutting out all of this outside noise and coming deeply, deeply home to yourself and being present, being here and in the now. And not here and in the now and just bump on the log. I'm here. This is my life. No, 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 no. I'm talking about the here and the now, where your heart is so full, where you're taking things in, and it's like everything looks different. Everything feels different. It's like life is magic. It's like life is a permanent vacation. You are so full of joy. You're so full of gratitude. You are grateful for what you have and where you're at, even if it's nowhere close to where you know you're going. And you're here and you're in the now in a way where your heart is full and your soul is like, that is what remembering is. It's presence. And I always, always remind myself on this journey that everything I want is so much more simpler to get than I think. Everything that you want is so much more simpler to get than you think. For those of you who are new to my calls, they're very much so transmissions, intuitively channeled. I let spirit work through me when I'm here. So sometimes you'll see me pause and feel into what wants to come through next. And this is part of that presence. One of the biggest things that helps me navigate this is if we can see it, if we can visualize it, okay? If we can visualize it, it's because it's on its way. Okay, if we can see it, it's on its way, it's ours. We can't see anything that isn't meant to be ours. Okay, so whatever it is that you see in your future, it is on its way to you. And it's on its way through the path of self-mastery. It's on its way through the path of learning how to regulate your nervous system. When we slow down, everything gets done. When we slow down, everything gets done. You see, because we're in control of our time. Time is a complete construct and it's a frequency. When we are in worry and doubt and stress, it's like time speeds up and everything becomes frantic and everything starts to collide and do all of these things. And it becomes overwhelming. But when we relax and when we actually slow down in a world that's speeding up, because years ago, when we first started this entrepreneurial or spiritual journey, it was about speeding up. It was about becoming more awake, more awake. We don't need help speeding our frequencies up anymore, because what's happening is we start to oscillate at such a high level. We throw ourselves into worry and fear and panic, and we throw ourselves out of flow with life, with our path. So it's not about speeding up. The world is sped up. The biggest difference you can make now is helping people slow down and come back home to themselves. Think of how you feel if any of you guys have ever done an incredible yoga class. It's because you're slowing down. And think what happens at the end of that yoga class, at the end of a meditation. It's like in that stillness, everything becomes clear. You're like, oh, I have spaciousness to create all of the things that I desire. I have spaciousness to see all of the things that I desire to create. So if you guys can take one thing from tonight, I hope that it is better to slow down right now than to speed up. In a world that's telling you to invest here and buy now and do this, recession this, and slow down, breathe. You are right where you are supposed to be. I'm going to say this again. This is my favorite mantra to myself. You are right where you're supposed to be. Learning exactly what you're supposed to be learning. Experiencing exactly what you're supposed to be experiencing. Breathe that in for a moment. I'm right where I'm supposed to be. Learning exactly what I'm supposed to be learning. Experiencing exactly what I'm supposed to be experiencing. That mantra is part of remembering. Being completely okay with the now, with where you're at, not wanting to change anything, not comparing yourself, not shaming yourself, not I should. Where there's should, there's shame. Where there's could, there's shame. I could have, I should have. And when there's shame, there's forgetting. And when there's forgetting, there's repression, there's depression, and there's constriction. So no shoulds, no coulds, because we don't have time or room for shame. We do not have any room or time for shame, coulds or woulds. There is the now, and then there is the I'm excited to, and there is I'm moving towards, and there is I am creating. Yeah. I want to talk about what happens when we forget, what really starts the forgetting process, because this is the part that really gets us. What starts the slippery slope of forgetting? Well, let me break it down to you, my lovely humans. Forgetting happens when we fail to move forward. Okay. When you download an idea and you're like, oh my gosh, okay. And then you do nothing about it. Forgetting slips in, fear slips in, doubt slips in. Forgetting happens whenever we allow ourselves to loop fearful thoughts, doubt, worry. Whenever you notice looping thoughts, you are out of alignment and you are separate from spirit and source and your higher self and your highest path. Okay. Because what is light is right, meaning spirit, and what is heavy is ego. I always love that. What is light is right, and what is heavy is ego. And ego is not our higher self. It is not our true path. It is separation from source and that which we are supposed to be experiencing. We're not supposed to experience any of those things, fear, doubt, worry. It is part of our experience. But when we are truly living in alignment and we are connected to source, those things just naturally fall away. Okay. So forgetting also happens when, this is a big one, when we are in indecision. Indecision is a slippery slope for the ego. It's like, got you, boo. We gonna stay right here, and we're about to enter a hellhole cycle of limiting thoughts. Right? And a place of indecision is a place for the ego to hook you and to keep you down. I always know when I'm in indecision and I'm in between two ideas. Am I here? Am I there? Am I here? Am I there? That is the spiral to some of my biggest holes that I go into, because we all spiral. We all go into doomsday. We all go into, I can't do this. Why am I even thinking about doing this? Right. Forgetting also happens when we rush, force, or push through. If you force anything, that is not one with spirit. Or if you rush anything, that Rushing anything is the frequency of scarcity. And when we're in scarcity, we're not in alignment with spirit. And we'll start to oscillate like that too. And when we're not in alignment with spirit, we invite in every negative other frequency. We're like, hey, I'm available for doubt. I'm available for self-criticizing. I'm available for criticism and comparison, right? So when we go to force something and we get into scarcity, we invite in other frequencies that are similar. Likes attract likes. Ooh, this is a big one. You guys ready for this one? Forgetting happens when you stop sharing your gifts. Or you've just never started. I can't even tell you how many times I want to share my gifts. And I know many of you on here you lead online because that's what we do. And I know that's one of the biggest fears is being seen, sharing our voice, going online, talking about what it is that we're passionate about. We're fearful of what people will think. We're afraid of being annoying. We don't want to just be another voice in the crowd, right? What is so-and-so going to think? Like, do I even know what I'm talking about? Do I have enough certifications? All of these thoughts, that's not you in your remembrance. That is you letting ego run your life, and that is a choice. And whenever you do that, those are the thoughts that keep you from sharing your voice. And if you have those thoughts keeping you from sharing your voice, what's happening is you're piling up all of this wisdom, okay? All of you are gathering wisdom at extraordinary speeds and amounts. I know this because I know I am. You're taking in this, you're taking in that. Spirit's giving you codes, Spirit's giving you codes, and you're hoarding them, waiting for that right moment when you feel like, oh, I'm ready to share these. And what's actually happening is you're becoming buried in the weight of these. And then it's also inviting in more thoughts of you can't, who's going to listen, why now, you're going to look dumb. And it just gets you deeper and deeper and deeper into forgetting who you really are. And the antidote to that is just leaning in, sharing. Massive, messy action is a quick road to remembering who you are. For instance, this channel right here that you guys are experiencing, I was like, you know what? I need to remember who I am. I'm going to go create something. And Spirit was like, okay, cool. Let's talk about remembering who we are. I was like, oh, this sounds great. We're going to talk about the exact same thing that I feel like we always struggle with. It's like entrepreneur amnesia, spiritual entrepreneur amnesia. It's like you wake up and you'll be great one day and you wake up the next day and you're like, I suck. And then you wake up the next day and you're like, I'm great. And then you wake up the next day and you're like, I suck. And sometimes it's all within the same day, multiple times. You'll wake up at 8, you're going to be like, I'm amazing. 10 a.m., I'm horrible. I can't say anything. Noon, wait a minute, I'm a badass. 2 o'clock, no, I can't do this, right? We're literally programmed to forget. And if we understand that it's actually very natural and most of us are forgetting who we are, and the whole reason why we came here this lifetime was to help us all remember who we are, we would all be willing to share our voices more, right? You get around other like-minded people and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, it felt really good. I remember who I am. I feel really inspired. And then you go out into the world where there's 80% of the people are sleeping still. And you're like, am I crazy? No, you're not crazy. You're just remembering a lot faster than everyone else. And it's our job to remember and help other people remember through our gifts, through sharing our gifts, through sharing our voices, through sharing the things that move our soul. So share, because the less you share, the more you'll forget. Share. And in case you guys didn't know, water tastes better out of a wine glass. I've just completely decided that this was truth. For many years, I've known this. If you haven't had water out of a wine glass, highly recommend it. The other thing that helps you forget, if you guys want to forget, is not making time for yourself and for your rituals. Okay. Believe it or not, if you don't take a shower, you stink. Weird concept, huh? And who likes smelling like BO? No one? Okay, just checking in. So somatic work, breath work, yoga, prayer, meditation, walking, getting out in nature. I would devote 2 hours a day to this, at least. That is your spiritual bath. Bathe spiritually every day. Okay? Bathe spiritually every day. Are you going to be stinky? Meaning foul to be around. You ain't going to enjoy who you are if you don't bathe spiritually. And I know none of us were taught this. Most of us were not taught how to bathe spiritually. We were indoctrinated to judge and compare and to be aware of everything else that everybody is doing and to be aware of our body and all the things that we have and the money that we make. And what's important is our marriage and all the things. Like, none of that is important. What's important is our happiness and our vibrancy and our joy for life. Right? Actually, Michelle is on here tonight, and she was one of my clients that inspired me so deeply. She moved me to tears multiple times this week because I was thinking about her. And we've been working together for 11 months. And I remember one of our most recent calls, she says, I'm ready to go fly on my own. And I said, I'm so excited for you. And she goes, I'm so happy with my business. Like, I just want to be happy with my business. Like, I don't want to scale right now. Like, I am so happy with my business. And I just took that in for a moment and I was like, wow, how many of us are out there as hungry ghosts, always wanting more? We get what we prayed for, and in a blink of an eye, we're wanting something more. More money, more love, more adventure, more vacations, more clients, more followers, more likes, bigger months, higher income, more. And yes, it is absolutely okay to strive for more. And I hope we all do, because I think we're unlimited beings. And that's the part of remembering I want you to remember, is when we're in a place of gratitude and joy, we can create all of those things. But when it's done from a place of hungriness, that's where we get it all wrong. And Michelle, thank you for that, because you know what? Her business will probably grow effortlessly because she loves it and she's grateful for it. And where we water, it grows. And so her gratitude for what she has now, I cannot wait to see what her garden of a business looks like. To be like, I'm actually okay with what I have right now. Wow. What a concept. I've got one last thing that happens when you forget before we dive a little bit more into remembering. Forgetting happens when we retract. Forgetting happens when we retract. I wrote this quote and tonight, and it was kind of like a moment I paused and kind of put my journal down. And it was, when we retract. Oh, wait. It's a good thing I wrote this down. Life only retracts when we do. Life only retracts when we do. So remember that. Remember, if you're feeling lack in your life, lack of money, lack of support, lack of opportunities, lack of connection, where have you retracted? Where have you closed off? And where can you open back up? How is all of this landing for everyone? Yeah. Just what I needed as always. Yum, so good. Yeah. Do any of you guys, exactly what I needed to hear, right on point. Yes, great refresh. Yes. It's always a refresh, right? It's like we know these things. It's not the first time you heard this. That's why it's called remembering. Because how many times do we fucking forget how simple this is? It's always a refresh, you guys. That's why I said, if you ever listen to this audio again, I wanted this video to be something you guys can turn back to in case you forget. Yes, it's meant to be simple. We make it so complicated. Here's the thing, you guys. Anything that you want is just on the other side of relaxing and then taking action from that. There is nothing that you cannot be, do, and have. Okay? There is not anything in this world that you cannot be, do, and have. When your nervous system is regulated, I really want you guys to sink into this, because if you've heard of the word somatics, it's something you may hear now that I've said it. You know, Siri's always listening. So if your phones are close by, I'll say it again, just in case. Somatics. There you go. Now you're going to get all of the ads. It's kind of creepy how that works. I'm telling you right now, everything you want is on the other side of understanding how to regulate that nervous system of yours, because our nervous system is what throws us into mental loops. It's what throws us into limiting beliefs. It's what throws us into doomsday. It's what makes us hyper vigilant of what everybody is thinking about us. Okay. So let's dive into remembering for a second. Okay. Because that's why we're all here. You guys are meant to experience bliss in everything that you do and create. Okay? Here's your invitation. Here is your invitation to stop taking everything so seriously. Okay? That is what remembering is all about. It's like, you know what? This is all a Maya, a play. And at the end of this life, you know what's going to happen? We're going to wake up in spirit land and we're going to look back and realize that I was so worried about people's thought. But I really wanted to do all of that. I really wanted to create that. I really wanted to create art. I really wanted to make a difference. I really wanted to create that course. I really wanted it. Why didn't I? Oh, because I didn't think I was worthy. I didn't think I could. I didn't think the universe would support me. Like, what? No. When you're on that other side, it's also simple. It's as simple as letting yourself desire what it is that brings you joy, and then letting it bring you joy, and then sharing it with the world. Because joy is contagious. Your joy is your magnetism. You want to be successful? Be joyful. Love what it is that you do. Love what it is that you do without holding anything back. And people will catch on and they're going to be like, what is she doing? I want to do it. I want to join. Because that's what we're all attracted to, like moths to a light. Oh, she's enjoying her life. She must be doing something right. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter how silly you think it is. If it's makeup, hair, golf, travel, blogging, writing a book, yoga, fitness, retreats, spiritual work, breath work. I don't care. Permission to fall in love and allow it to bring you the vibrancy. Stop pushing it down for fear of making other people uncomfortable. That is forgetting. That is you choosing into forgetting. And when we forget who we are, everybody else forgets who they are. So you get to give yourself permission to be like, I fucking love this thing and I'm going to talk about it. I don't need a certification to talk about it. I don't even need a fucking reason to talk about it. I'm just going to do it and I'm going to share it. And as I share it and as I get more into it and as I take massive action, I'm going to get better at it. Because that's usually another fear is, oh, I don't know if I'm not that good yet. Well, how are you going to get good at what it is that you want to do in the world if you're never putting yourself out there? That's like a gymnast saying, I want to get really good at gymnastics. So I'm going to watch it for so many years and I'm going to go study it. And then that way, when I get on the floor to do a back tuck, I'm going to know how. Don't work that way. Life is an active sport. You have to actively participate. Anything that you want, you got to lean into, right? And here's the thing, when you lean into, momentum creates momentum. So that fear, you're going to be like, whoa, oh my God, I'm taking action and so many things are moving. Whoa. And this is where the regulated nervous system comes and being presence. Because when you're present and everything starts moving, you're in the eye of the storm. You're like, ooh, okay, I'm moving some things. Cool. Oh, wow. Life is moving as I am moving. And that's about regulating that nervous system. It's about trust. Remembering is trust. It's trusting when relationships leave, when things change. It's trusting when trauma gets triggered. Because remembering doesn't mean that you won't experience any chaos. You actually may experience a lot of chaos, a lot of change. But remembering is how you handle it. Remembering is how you handle it. So you get to get really good at trusting the waves and calming the waves through breath, through movement, through self-care, through connection of spirit and source. Because when you are in the wave of change, you're in the absolute unknown. And if you have no relationship with spirit, you will fall into doomsday, fear, freaking out, doing, trying to control. When really, if you just relax and you float, spirit's already taking you to where you need to go. So can you relax? Is the question. Can you relax and float? Can you trust the change that's coming? Or the change that is here. Some of you said you're in transition right now. I know Sammy just went through a big transition. You were a master at floating, babe. She went through a huge relationship transition. She raised her prices. She lost clients. She's gaining clients. She's gained freedom. She's gained herself back. It got worse before it got better. But she floated through it because she kept coming back home to ourselves. Her and I were working together through this process. She did one of my mini programs. And I watched her life change so quickly in 2.5 months. And she just floated. She was like, oh my God, spirit is taking me somewhere new. And she was in this remembrance of herself every day. Every day she was in remembrance of herself. And if you guys feel like you get really caught up in fear, I have a book for you called Return to Love by Marianne Williamson. If you feel like you live in your head, that is the ego. My nose itches. And that is not spirit. Heart-based living, returning to love, returning to living from your heart, dancing with spirit through life. That's what this book is about. If you feel like your mind is your own terrorist, I know my mind is a terrorist. Like it is absolutely embarking to destroy every facet of my dreams and motivation all the time. This book has been such an anchor for me. I'll just read it and be like, oh yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. I can breathe. Ah. How's all this landing, babes? Checking in as we move through these transmissions. Feels so peaceful. Good. You already know I'm in major transitions and changes. I needed these reminders. Yeah. Exactly what I needed. Big fat. Oh yeah, I'm a badass. Yes. You guys are fucking badasses. This resonates so much for me right now. Yes. Farah, yes, yes, yes. Can I just remind all of you guys that you guys are badasses? There's nothing that you can't have. Literally, if you are thinking about it, just go fucking do it. Stop being in indecision. Stop shrinking away. Stop not sharing your voice. Just lean the fuck in. Like, you're not going to give up. I had a mentor say that to me. She's like, well, you're going to quit? I said, no. She said, well, then if you're not going to quit, you might as well go all in. So if you guys aren't going to stop thinking about it, then you might as well just go all in. Feeling a sense of calmness now. Yeah, truly needed it. And also needed to hear others needed this too. We are not alone in this. No. Working one-on-one with you, you go all the way in. Yes. All in, baby. Yes. Michelle, we went all in. Yeah, Michelle was like, I'm going to go all in. I will work with you. Yeah. You guys, you're not alone. There is a reason why I created this. Like for me, I'll share this. I forget my mission at least once a week. Me and one of my really good girlfriends who is in the coaching industry, we have we check in with each other once a week, and we call it our co-regulating check-ins. And today she reached out to me. She was so sweet. And she goes, hey, I'm just reaching out to you. I'm in the middle of some launches and I've had crickets for the last week. You know, no one's reaching out. No one's, wanting to sign up. No one's joining in. And I went into full doomsday prep today and started panicking and losing my center. And you guys, this is literally why I have a mentor. And this is why people have mentors, is because we are always forgetting our path. We're always going into, I can't, nobody wants this. What am I doing? And we get sideswiped. And I literally have friends that I reach out to because I forget all of the time. Even through these last couple months, I forgot who I was. And I needed people to help me remember that this is my path. Sometimes I forget that I'm good at teaching. Sometimes I forget that I'm good at coaching. Sometimes I forget I'm a good friend. Sometimes I'm so hard on myself. So know that you're not alone. Like it's normal to be hard on yourself. You're not the only one beating yourself up and thinking scary thoughts. But here's the thing, don't share these scary thoughts with people who are consumed and believe they're scary thoughts. Okay? Like I had a very beautiful experience with my father this last 2 weeks. I shared with him my scary thoughts, and my scary thoughts became ammunition. And when you share your scary thoughts with people and you share your forgetting with the wrong people, they'll throw you into a deeper hole of forgetting. Okay? So the more you can surround yourself around things that help you remember. So some of my favorite tools to remember is, I don't know if you guys have ever listened to the book Rise, Sister, Rise. One of my favorite books, The Gene Keys. The Gene Keys is an incredible book to help you remember. Okay. Ask and it is given. Anything Jerry and Esther Hicks. Yes, please. Yes, please. And here's the other thing. Social media will help you forget real quick. Getting on social media, the more you can take a pause and a break from that, the better. And the more you can get out into nature and to slow down and to be present, to enjoy cooking, to enjoy conversations, to enjoy family, to enjoy the now, the more you're going to remember who you are, the more you're going to be inspired to work. And that's really why I wanted to create Remembrance, was to help you just ground back in and to remember that it's simple. It's simple. Yeah, it's simple. So I'd love to transition into our embodiment practice tonight, because we are going to do something really fun and I'm so excited. Did anyone have any questions before we transition into our embodiment experience? Okay. If you have any, I'm going to chat a little bit about how to prepare. But I want to talk about this, this concept that I use behind the scenes called relax, receive, create. People always ask me, Mikhail, how do you create things? How do you come up with things? How do you know it's the right way to go? And this is my formula: relax, receive, create. Relax, receive, or create. So when I relax and I stop trying to force the ideas and the answers, and is this enough? And I'm going to do this, and should I do this? And da, 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 I need to create this. When I just relax and I just let myself be here in the now, I receive everything I'm asking for. Like today, I took the whole day off so that I could relax and receive what it is that wanted to come through. And whenever I create courses or come up with business models, it's the same thing. I relax to receive. And then I create. I'm like, oh, okay, now I can create from here. So tonight, we are going to go through an experience of helping you relax, relaxing your nervous system and helping you get out of the front of your brain and in all of this thinking. And we're going to allow you to tap into the true remembrance. You guys are going to actually experience what it feels like to be in remembrance, which is connected to source, which is connected to the truth of who you are. Okay. So tonight, as you travel through this experience, and everybody's experience can be whatever, maybe you won't have, this like, maybe you will. My hope is that you're able to kind of get a glimpse, because some of you may have not relaxed for so long that you just get a small glimpse. And some of you may practice a little bit more than others, and you may have a blast off experience. Don't judge your experience, because that's part of forgetting. Okay? Don't judge your experience as part of forgiving. But we're going to be going into this place of relaxing. And you're going to be doing some interesting things tonight. If you guys have ever done Kundalini yoga, it's a blend of Kundalini yoga with breath work, with meditation, with visualizing. It's like a Mikhail fusion. I learn things from all different mentors and shamans and healers, and then I create concoctions. That's what I do. I'm a very interesting mentor like that. You can ask all my clients. We don't know what we do. We don't know how we journey through these things. I have breathwork clients, and they teach breathwork, and Kundalini instructors and yoga instructors. And they're like, did you learn this somewhere? No, I learned it nowhere. It's all intuitive, and it's all perfect. It's all divine. And I'm going to be really inspired to guide you guys through something really beautiful tonight. I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. So again, we're harnessing the energy of Scorpio and this eclipse season. And I'm going to remind you guys again that it doesn't have to be intense. That my hope is that you guys really allow yourselves to soften through this eclipse portal and realize the more you relax, the more you're going to actually receive the visions and the inspiration. And as you relax, I invite you to take action through that place. Allow this eclipse season to be the thing that if you feel inspired to take action. Like, don't just sit around anymore. Like, if ideas come to you and things come to you and you want to share something, you want to create something, do it. Do it. Use this energy. Be like water. Stay in motion. Allow yourself to use this beautiful season. Scorpios, they get a bad rap, but I'm going to tell you this. They're amazing. They're amazing business people. They're hard workers. They're creative. They understand how to work with the element of water and flow. So use the element that we're in, but you can also use the element at any time and point in your life, this idea of flow of water. Okay. think that's all I wanted. We covered all the things tonight. I'm really excited. So before we transition into having you guys lay down and do all of the things, I wanted, because once we're done with this experience, there will be not a lot of capacity for you guys to receive a lot more. You guys will probably be very much so in a space of you're just going to want to either go journal or eat or sleep, maybe take a bath and just be. I would recommend grounding afterwards because we are going to be doing some breath. I'm going to try not to take you guys too far up, and I'm hoping to leave you guys just feeling very clean and open, and absolutely just open, like, wow, okay, this feels good. I do want to share because I'm someone who always shares. I never sell. But if you want to go deeper, if tonight inspired you and you're like, you know what, I desire to remember who I am more, and I desire support, I do have openings for support. I have mini mentorship programs, I have long-term ones, and I also have immersions. And I have several spots open that I'm filling until the middle of November. I'm hoping to have everything full by mid-November. And there are specials for the month of October. Michelle says, do it. Yeah, I had a couple clients complete their program. So I have openings next week for discovery calls. If you guys are looking to take things further, I do have experiences for that. It's first come and first serve. Athena's on here. Yeah, she's like, agree, do it. Yes, it is. And the work that I do is this, I help people remember who they are. We do have a lot of fun. We play a lot, but there is a lot of embodiment work. So what you're about to experience is part of my work. We do breath work. A big part of Sammy's journey was actually our breathing. We did a couple of really huge sessions to help her see through some things. And a lot of the times that's what it is. You get to have someone hold space to help you remember. So just know that, working with me is an experience. It's not just mentorship. And you guys are going to get a little taste of what that is like tonight in this group. So I'd love for you all, we're going to take a small break. I'd love for you guys to go pee, get up and stretch, and create a comfortable place for you guys to be sitting Indian style. And also I am going to have you lay down as well. So if you guys can have the place be where you can lay down and also be sitting up, we're going to start sitting up. Okay. And if you're, I don't know where you guys are at in the world, but I'm in Florida, so I'm dressed like I'm not in Florida. It's fine. It's totally fine. But if it's warm in your house, you might want to kick it down a little bit because you might get a little warm, but you also might want to have a blanket because then you'll get a little chilly afterwards too. So have a blanket close by, get some water, get up and go to the restroom. I'm going to play a song. I'll go through one song, give everyone like 3-4 minutes to get set up, and get a journal because I'll probably have you guys journal afterwards if you feel called. And we're going to go into a really, really epic experience. So I'll see you guys in a minute.